Alright, our learning objective today is we are learning about scientific notation, and scientific notation, I'm going to write it like that every now and then, is a way to write really big or really small numbers in a more manageable way. So sometimes manageable way. So sometimes on your calculator you might see something written, so 3.621 times 10 to the power of 14, or you might actually see it as 3.621e 14. So you might see those things, and this is what we're looking at understanding now. So let's take a really big number, and I can tell you that the distance from the Earth to the Sun is 150 million kilometers. So first of all, we need to get it straight what 150 million kilometers looks like. So we can write it like this: 150 million kilometers. Now that can get quite cumbersome or quite difficult to do over and over, so we're going to find a quicker way to do it. And what we do when we talk about scientific notation is we're manipulating where the decimal point lies. And in scientific notation, it's really important that we understand that we only have one place number, or one place value, let's go number, before the decimal point. Now if we have a look at this number, if our decimal point always sits on the end of our normal numbers, so if it's 1 and it's sitting here, if it's 20 it's sitting here, then it's really got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in front of the decimal point, which is too many. So what I've done is I'm just going to put this big exaggerated decimal point, and I've got 150 million written down on this piece of plastic, so we can see what we need to do in order to move it to only have one place before the decimal point. So let's go. We have to move it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, and 8 times. So if we move it 8 times, we get it to where we need it to be. And now it looks a bit different. Okay, now it looks like 1.5, but it's got all these zeros at the end, and they're pretty big. But what we do is we count how many times we move the decimal point. So we moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times to get it to where it needed to be, which means we've actually moved it times, or we've had to move it so that our number is 10 to the power of 8 times smaller. So what we've got now is 1.5 times 10, and that's going to take on board all these places that we moved to the power of 8. So we've made it really, really small. We moved it 8, then we moved the decimal point. If we do it again here, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before it landed here. So we moved it 8 times. So we are telling it we moved it 10 to the power of 8 times, which means we've moved it 8 decimal places this way. Now if I gave you the opposite and I said to work backwards, for example, I gave you 7.5 times 10 to the power of 6, then we know that this is a big number, and we know we have to move our decimal point. So we would put our 7 and our point and our 5, and we would bounce it back the other way because we know that it's going to be a big one. So ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which would put our decimal place here, which means we have to fill in all these other ones with zeros, which means our number is actually 7500000, which is 7,500,000 there. So it's still quite a big number. I'm just going to flip the page. Okay, so we can do that with really big numbers, but we can also do that with really small numbers. So if I give you 0.00000000095, what we have to do is get our important numbers, which are these ones here that are not zeros, in front of the decimal place this time. And the decimal place is exaggerated, but it's here. So in order to do that, we need to jump our decimal place. We need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 places. So we would end up with a number that looks like this, 9.5 times 10 again, because we're moving at place values, but this time we moved it 13 places, but we moved it backwards to meet our significant numbers back here. So this time it's to the power of negative 13. Okay, so if it's a really very small numbers, we'll have a negative power above the 10, but very big numbers will have a positive power above the 10.